Hey everyone, today's topic is just going to be about how Genshin Impact could improve their co op mode and how they could do it so much better and make it so much more worth playing. I think we can all agree that currently what Genshin Impact's co op mode offers is a shell of what most co op RPGs can provide, and it's honestly a very shallow take on it. So let's just start with the different topics that we have on how to improve the co op. So the first thing I think is their take on the world level. Currently, what we have is that the difficulty is stuck at the lowest world level within the party group, which means that you can only jump into a person's world who has like a lower world level than you. And I feel like they could actually do something more similar to Borderlands, where they make it so that the level is actually the mean of all the members playing co-op, so that way, people aren't just stuck either destroying everything in a person's world or, stuck in something that's too hard for them too. I feel like if they just took the mean of all the different world levels, that would be like perfect, right? Another excuse that they have with this is just that they don't really want exploration to be a multiplayer thing. I think they didn't want it to be like so that you could just blow through the whole game with someone with a ridiculously higher level than you, right? But I feel like they could probably, if they're worried about the exploration, they could probably do something where they create like a limit as to how far away you could be from each other, so that way like the individual person could still experience exploration the way that they intended it to. I don't know. And I also feel like if they're worried about the exploration, I don't think they should limit it by world level, right? Because you could actually have a higher world level with less exploration due to all the events that we're having and everything that could increase your world level. Like if you just do your daily commissions every day and never explore, you could still level up your world level, right? So I think the smarter way to do it would be to make it so that you can only go into the world of someone with the least percent explored. That way, that person won't get any spoilers in the game, right? And then if you combine it with the fact that, with the idea that you can only be so far away from each other, then it's like it's almost guaranteed that they will still be able to explore the world as the developers have intended it. So, yeah. But the other thing I have is that I actually think that even getting into co-op in the first place could be more streamlined, right? Um, for example, currently what we have is that you can either jump into the friend's world and then show up for co-op for like certain events or certain dungeons or whatever. The issue is that you have two options. Your first option is to do it single player, where you actually just go into the dungeon without the friend that you brought into the world, which is pointless. And the second option is to do it co-op, where you ask the person in your world currently to go into the dungeon with you, but it also queues you up to try to find two others or one other, whatever, to complete your team online. And I think that's pretty unnecessary. I think there should be an option to do it, but I don't think that should be the only way to do co-op. And there is a way to get around that. And to get around that, you actually have to ask to do co-op, and then you have to go into like that the like kind of like Wi-Fi transmitter green thing. You have to click on that and then hit that you don't want to like search for more party members. And I feel like that's a really roundabout way to do it. Instead, they should just probably have a, instead of the single player button, they should make that like, um, the co-op button where you just jump in with whoever's in your world right now. And probably the second button should be like a queue where you can find more members. So maybe like call it like party recruit or something like that, right? Shout out to like Maple Story old days, right? RPQ or JPQ, but without all that typing. Okay, so the other issue that I have with what co-op offers currently is there's actually not that many incentives to do it. For example, I feel like what co-op is right now is just to ironically blast through the dungeons, or just to be able to do the dungeons with friends, I guess, when you're grinding. But I feel like instead of that, they should just make all chests and rewards and everything should be made so that it's like adjusted with the mean of the world level, right? It should just be adjusted to the world level. I mean, if they're worried that there's too many primogems in flux, I think they can take that away from the person who's entering the world, right? I personally think that there actually isn't that much of a lack of primogem, as it's like a free-to-play game, so it's fair. But I just feel like currently there's just no incentive to jump into another co-op world and like experience the world together. And considering how good it runs and how much it runs well, and like considering how like good it is with cross-platform and everything, I think it's a big loss in opportunities. A lot of people started this game because of the community promotion and because they themselves like promoted it as exploring the world with friends, right? But we don't really get to do that, and it honestly feels like a big waste of time to do that. It's a waste of resin. It's just a waste of time, right? And so I think they should just make it so that like, yeah, the chests and rewards are adjusted to an adjusted word level. Repetitive, but it's what it is, right? I feel like it's a pretty simple concept. I don't understand why they're not doing it. But yeah, I also think it's like, in terms of the resources, I'm okay with it being stuck to one world. I feel like you could just go back to your world to like mine and stuff. It's not a big deal. But if you really think about it, if people wanted to farm resources from another world, they could still very easily make another account for that. So I'm not really all too sure that it's the biggest issue here, but it is what it is. I mainly think that the big issue is that there's no incentives. So yeah, they need to figure that out. Okay, so my last topic as to how we could improve the co-op in Genshin Impact is the quests, right? I think finishing quests together should be possible. It should be possible to save all the progress from one world and copy paste it into your game. I honestly don't see why it wouldn't be possible to do this, considering it's been out in so many games for like years, right? The same goes for exploration. I don't see why one person has to explore it and then the other person has to explore it on their own later too. I feel like it should be very easily transferable. And going off like my earlier points, if a chest is like already unlocked for someone, or if they unlocked like a chest together and they're worried about having too many chests, then they should be able to copy paste it back into the other person's game where they can't open that chest anymore. But then that makes it so that it's like less incentive to go into co-op, I guess. I mean, I personally don't think that there's too little chests being provided, or that there's too many chests being provided. I feel like people are complaining about the lack of chests, right? So I think that it's okay if there's like if you're still able to like redeem the chest in your own world too, and they should just make it so that like the primal gems could only be gotten in your own world. I can see them wanting to do the main storyline, I guess, completely on your own, and I guess sure, like some people prefer it that way, but I don't think it takes away I don't think it takes away from the storyline too much if you play it together, right? Uh, I guess unless you have those friends that like don't care about the story and lore and they just skip all the cutscenes, but I think that's between the users themselves. That's between the players to figure out. I don't really think the developer needs to step in and say like, no, you can't do this. Yeah, but I don't know. I personally miss the days where you could play through a whole game with a friend, right? There aren't many of those these days. I feel like a lot of things are single player and only with like a limited amount of multiplayer options in the game. I mean, I guess if they wanted to keep it to side quests only or have specific co-op campaign, that would be pretty sick. But right now, I think where co-op is, it just isn't really cutting it, right? Co-op seems to be only used to farm things quicker. So I don't know. I feel like it's a really big waste. But honestly, I think the developers do a really good job at just listening to the player base. They've made changes before, so I'm hopeful that they'll make changes this time too. What do you guys think? Maybe you guys could discuss it in the comments. You guys could share the video, discuss it on different boards. Hopefully it'll like reach the ears of the developers and they could do something about it, right? And again, this is a free to play game, and it's honestly provides a lot for not requiring you to pay money. If it were a AAA game, I think it'd be a lot different. And I think that it could be a really good AAA game, I'm not gonna lie, but I mean, I think that's a topic for another day. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And you know how it goes. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.